You know that moment when the heat gets so intense you can't ignore it anymore. I finally caved and installed a split AC unit in my workspace, and it completely changed the game. The space went from sweltering to comfortable almost instantly. But here's the thing most people don't think about. Once you installed it, what do you do with the big boxy unit on your wall? I wanted something that looked as good as it worked. So I built a custom cover that doesn't just hide the unit, it turns it into a design feature. First, I tackled the install. This model's rated 24.5 CO2, ultra quiet, just 25 to 38 decibels, and handles extreme temperatures from minus 22 to 122 Fahrenheit. It came with everything: line set, R32 refrigerant, Wi Fi control, fresh air exchange compatibility, and even a 5-year warranty. To start with, I laid the indoor unit face down so I could access the back panel. First thing, I removed the mounting plate by taking out the center screw and popped right off. Then I flipped the unit to the front, opened the front cover, and removed the screws to the electrical panel cover and the strain relief inside that will hold our wires. I took the signal wire that came with the unit and fished from the back to the front, then connected them to the color coded terminals. It's super straightforward since the manual showed exactly where each one went. Simply unscrew, insert the U terminals, and hand tighten the screws. Once the cables were secured, I reinstalled the cover. On the right side of the unit, I knocked out the small hole in the bottom. This ERV came with two wires in different lengths. I picked the shorter one and connected it to this blue control wire inside the indoor unit. On the back of the indoor unit, I found that the insulated drain line was connected on the left port of the unit. Since I wanted to exit on the right side, I just removed the drain line from the left side and reattached it to the port on the right side of the unit, and sealed the other drain opening with the plug I removed from the right side. I'm doing this as I want all my lines to exit on the rear right side of my unit. Next up, refrigerant lines. I removed the white color cap on one of the tubings. It made a hissing sound which is supposedly normal. Remember to check that the indoor unit's refrigerant tightness is intact before installation. Then I connected the small one to the small valve by hand. Also connected the large pipe to the large valve. After hand tightening the joints, I used a wrench to hold one side down and the other end with a digital torque wrench to set the correct torque. Just following the recommended torque numbers in their manual. Make sure the insulation at the pipe connections is wrapped separately and not together like I did here. Next, I attached the drain line end with the provided extension drain tubing. After that, I bundled the refrigerant lines, electrical cable, and drain line together and wrapped everything with the self-fusing tape that came with the unit. The unit package came with 3 different wall templates. I picked the one that matched my indoor unit size. This template shows the mounting bracket, and on the right side has the mounting guide and holes location for the ERV installation. I picked a spot in my workshop wall for the indoor unit. I found the wall studs and marked them to help with positioning the template. On top, I have at least 6 inches of clearance from the ceiling as recommended. Next, I measured and marked a spot for the line set hole, which is directly behind the unit on the right-hand side. First, I used a long bit to drill a pilot hole at a slight downward angle and then used a 2 3/4 inch hole saw to open it up. When drilling through the exterior siding, I went in reverse first to avoid cracking it, then forward through the wall. Next, I carefully fed the bundle of pipes and wires through the wall and pulled it out from the other side. This is definitely a 2-person job, so make sure to have someone to help you. Before locking the unit in place, I sealed around the cuff with this gum sealer and mounted the indoor unit onto the plate. Next, I tackled the ERV system. I cut off the ERV part of the template and placed next to my unit and marked the mounting locations along with the locations to drill pipe holes. I decided to go with 2 smaller holes instead of 1 4-inch hole. First, I installed the ERV mounting plate using a level. Next, I drilled those 2 holes by keeping the angle downwards, just like the one I did for pipe bundle. On the back of the ERV box, there is an inlet and an outlet opening. Use the connectors, pressing firmly until it clicked. Following that, I opened the side cover and inserted the air filter that came with it. Next, I extended the inlet and outlet pipes using the provided duct pieces. To mount the ERV on the wall, first pass the pipes through the holes on the wall, and when you're halfway through, connect the control wire from the indoor unit to the wires panel on the rear on this two-way ventilation system box. Moving on to the outside, I marked 2 inches on each pipe and trimmed the excess with a utility knife. Make sure to seal the gaps around these pipes with silicone or spray insulation. Next, I removed the cover from the outdoor vent hood, inserted the pipes through it, secured the vent to the siding with screws and reattached the cover. Next, let's mount the outdoor unit. I bought a mounting bracket separately and installed it on the wall where I want the unit. Place the unit on the bracket and secure them together using the nuts provided. Then I installed this drain joint to the drain hole at the bottom of the unit. To keep the lines secure and to save them from any wear and tear, I purchased and installed this line set cover. I loosened the drainage line from the bundle, made a hole on the casing, and let it pass straight down through this cover so it could run freely downward. Let's do the electrical. I removed the electrical panel cover on the outer unit. In here, the bottom terminals are to be connected to the power line using a whip, and the top terminals connect to the wire from the indoor unit. To do this, just follow the wiring diagram in the manual. It's color-coded, so it's pretty easy to follow. I matched the wire colors to the labels and secured them to the respective terminals. Everything is fastened with clamps and secured. After double-checking every connection, I replaced the electrical cover. Here is an overall gist of the electrical. This is the electrical disconnect box with power coming from a 20 amp double pole breaker box for my 230 volt unit. This should be installed by an electrician. To connect from here, I brought an electrical whip and used that one instead of using the wire that came with the unit. This whip connects to my outdoor unit. Signal wire from my outdoor unit is also fed through a non-metallic whip that enters into the line cover and joins the refrigerant line bundle connecting to the indoor unit. Next up, air evacuation. First, I removed the cover plates. To attach the refrigerant lines, I took off the cap and threaded the small pipeline to the small valve on the unit and tightened them using a digital torque wrench following the exact torque values listed in the manual. Did the same for the other valve. Now that the lines are connected, let's evacuate the air and moisture from the line set. I connected the blue hose from the manifold gauge to the charging port. Then hooked the yellow line to the vacuum pump. Then I turned on the pump and the left valve on the gauge. As soon as I turned it on, the pressure on the left dial went down to negative, and that is what we need here. After 20 minutes, the dial was still steady. I turned off the vacuum pump and waited for another 10 minutes. Thankfully, the readings are the same. Just to confirm, I did a soapy water leak test on the connections as well. No bubbles, so that confirms that there are no leaks. Then I opened both the liquid and gas valves fully with an Allen wrench. This releases the gas into the lines. Then I disconnected the blue hose as well and replaced the cap on the charging vent. Also placed the cover plates back. Everything is done, so I turned on the main power and then the button on the remote. The unit powered up and I cycled through the modes and checked every mode. For hot months, I have cool mode, and for winter months, I have the heat mode. Both heat and cold seem to work perfectly, and I'm so happy to see it up and running. This model also has Wi-Fi control. To set it up, I scanned the QR code, installed the app, connected the unit to my home network, and I was good to go. The best part in this unit is the two-way ventilation system. To turn on the ERV, press the air icon in your app. Immediately, the light on ERV turns on. It pulls in fresh air from outside and exhausts stale air. This system greatly decreases the load of fresh air supply and helps to maintain my indoor air quality. The mini split and the two-way ventilation system are fully installed and working perfectly. Once I got the unit installed, I built a sleek wood cover for it. The sides are made of 3/4 inch thick plywood and the front has half-inch thick wood slats spaced evenly. I get so much wood dust settling on everything in my woodworking shop, so I added MERV 13 fabric behind the slats and on top. It's rated for furnaces, so it allows full airflow at any temperature while keeping sawdust off the unit. I installed it with a simple hanging hardware. No more clunky wall eyesore. It's clean, cool, and looks like it belongs. Thinking of upgrading your AC and want yours to look just as good? I've got a link to the unit I used in the description. Thanks to Tosort for sponsoring this video.